Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. One typical evening, with the sun sinking low in a subdued blaze of glory and the house settling into a familiar quiet, I reach for my wife Lara's laptop. The intention is simple: find a movie we both could unwind to after another long day. Lara is still at the office, her text about running late fresh in my mind as I open her sleek, silver laptop. The login happens automatically, her smiling wallpaper greets me, a reminder of better days. But as I navigate to the browser, a flickering notification catches my eye, a message from someone named Davey88. Curiosity needles me. I know I shouldn't, but before I can stop myself, I click on the chat window. What unfolds before me is nothing short of a gut punch. The screen is awash with playful, flirty messages, the kind that twist the knife of betrayal deeper with every word. They talk about last Thursday and how amazing it felt to hold you. Davey88 sends a winking emoji, and my heart sinks further. The room spins a little as I scroll through more messages, their words a blurry dance of affection and plans that obviously didn't include me. They complement each other's techniques and secret skills. A cold fire ignites in my chest, and my hands tremble with a cocktail of rage and disbelief. How long has this been going on? How could I have been so blind? Breathing heavily, I slam the laptop shut. I pace the length of our living room, each step heavy with the weight of this newfound knowledge. My mind races through our recent past, reinterpreting exchanges and absences I had once thought innocent. Nothing adds up anymore. I need air. I need to think. Grabbing my jacket, I step outside, letting the crisp evening breeze cool my heated skin. Walking aimlessly through the dimly lit streets, I replay their messages over and over. The sting of betrayal is potent, nauseating. But beneath that, a plan begins to form, a way to confront this betrayal, to peel back the mask of the man who dared intrude into my marriage. As the sky darkens to a deep indigo, my thoughts sharpen, crystallize. By the time I return home, my decision is made. I will not let this deceit go unchallenged. Lara won't be home for another hour. That gives me enough time. Sitting back at the laptop, I log into the chat room as Lara, my fingers hesitating just a moment before I begin typing. My husband won't be here tonight. We can have fun together, honey. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I hit send, feeling a mix of revulsion and determination coursing through my veins. Davey88's reply comes quickly, eager and unsuspecting: I'll be there tonight. With a grim sense of satisfaction, I delete the messages, covering our tracks. The first stage of my retaliation is set, the line drawn. I lean back, heart pounding, mind racing with possibilities. Tonight will mark the beginning of the end, one way or another. I wait in the shadowed silence of our bedroom, the only sound my own ragged breathing. The front door clicks open, it's time. As I stand, the room seems to tilt, reality shifting. The second stage of my revenge is about to unfold. The click of the door echoes through the silent house, a sound far too loud in my taut nerves. I step out of the shadows, heart racing with a mix of fear and fury. Davey88, or Dave as I now see him, medium height, with a disarming smile, steps into the living room, unaware of the storm waiting to engulf him. "Hey babe, where are you?" Dave calls out, his voice a smooth, practiced charm. He doesn't see me yet, his eyes scanning for Lara, not her husband, cloaked in the dim light. I step forward, my voice steady despite the tempest inside. "She's not here, Dave." He startles, eyes snapping to mine, a flicker of confusion then recognition passing over his face. "You must be Mike. She mentioned you were out tonight," he says, a cautious edge to his tone. "Yeah, well, plans change." I move closer, trying to gauge his reaction, to see the guilt, the fear. But he holds his ground, something like defiance, Or is it guilt, flaring in his eyes? What do you want, Mike? Dave asks, his voice low, a hint of a challenge beneath the surface. To understand why. Why her? Why my wife? The questions tumble out, each one laced with the bitterness of betrayal. Dave looks away briefly, then meets my gaze again. It's not just about you, man. Things happen. That's it. That's all you have to say. My voice rises, anger cresting again. Before Dave can respond, the front door opens again. Laura walks in, stopping dead in her tracks at the sight of us standing there. Her bag slips from her shoulder, hitting the floor with a thud that punctuates the heavy silence. Mike? What's going on? Her voice trembles, eyes darting between Dave and me, the realization dawning slowly. I can't look at her. Why don't you ask Dave here? Seems he knows your schedule better than I do. Lara's face pales, her eyes widening in shock. Dave, what did you tell him? Her voice cracks, the facade breaking. Dave holds up his hands, looking between us, trying to find the words. Lara, No. I cut him off, turning to Lara. I read the messages, Lara. From last Thursday, from today. All of it. The color drains from her face, her eyes filling with tears. Mike, I can explain. Save it, I snap, my voice harsher than I intend. I thought we could talk it out, figure things out. But this? I gesture to Dave, who looks like he's reconsidering his earlier bravado. This is something else. A heavy silence settles over us, thick with unsaid words and unshed tears. Lara looks between us, her mouth opening and closing, searching for something, anything to say. Then, unexpectedly, another voice cuts through the tension. Is everything okay here? It's our neighbor, Janice, standing in the doorway, concern etched across her features. No, Janice, it's not, I say, but Lara cuts me off. We're just having a discussion, she says quickly, wiping her eyes and forcing a smile. Thank you, though. We'll sort it out. Janice nods, though her eyes linger with worry before she reluctantly retreats, closing the door behind her. With the room quiet again, Lara turns to me, her expression one of desperation. Mike, please, let's talk about this. Just us. I nod slowly, the rage subsiding into a cold resolve. Dave, leave. Now, I say, my voice leaving no room for argument. Dave hesitates, then nods, casting a regretful look at Lara before he exits, leaving us enveloped in the storm of our shattered trust. As the door closes behind him, Lara sinks into a chair, her face in her hands. Mike, I'm so sorry, she whispers. I stand motionless, the night's revelations weighing heavily on me. I don't know if sorry is enough this time, Lara. The room is thick with the scent of betrayal and the heavy promise of decisions yet to be made. As we sit in silence, the second stage of my revenge seems suddenly hollow, and I wonder what comes next. The silence between us stretches out, a tangible presence in the room. Lara finally looks up from her hands, her eyes red and swollen. Mike, can we please talk about this? I nod, though my body feels rooted to the spot, heavy with the weight of betrayal. Start talking, Lara. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself. It wasn't supposed to happen. Dave and we met at a conference a few months ago, and it spiraled from there. Why didn't you just talk to me? If you were unhappy, why didn't you come to me first? My voice is more pained than accusatory, but it sharpens as I see her struggle for an answer. I don't know, Mike. I was confused. I felt distant from you, like you were always so caught up with work. I needed someone to talk to, and Dave was there. So, just talking turned into what I saw tonight. I ask, the hurt evident in my tone. It was a mistake, Lara whispers, her voice breaking. I never wanted to hurt you. I shake my head, trying to process everything. And what now? You just expect everything to go back to normal. No, I know it can't. Not immediately. But I want to fix this, Mike. I want to try, if you can ever forgive me. Her plea hangs in the air, heavy and desperate. I want to believe her, to rewind the clock to a time before all of this, but the trust that once anchored us has been severely damaged. Just then, a knock at the door jolts us. I open it to find Janice again, this time more determined. I'm sorry to intrude, Mike, but I think you ought to know, Dave isn't who he says he is. Lara and I exchange a puzzled look. What do you mean? I ask. Janice steps inside, her expression grave. My cousin works for the police. I had a bad feeling about this guy, so I asked her to do a quick check on him. Turns out, he's known for this, getting involved with married women. There's more. He's been linked to some shady business deals too. The revelation hits like a cold wave, and I see Lara's face pale even more. I had no idea, she murmurs. I thank Janice, who leaves with a sympathetic nod, promising to keep everything discreet. Turning back to Lara, the room feels even smaller, the air thicker. So, not only did you cheat, but you also brought a criminal into our lives. I say, the anger mixing with a profound disappointment. Lara starts to cry again. I'm so sorry, Mike. I didn't know. I was so stupid. We sit down, the need to make sense of the chaos pressing us into a conversation neither of us wants to have. We need to figure out what to do about this guy, about us, I say, my mind racing through legal and personal ramifications. Yes, anything you want, Mike. I'll do anything to fix this, Lara says earnestly. First, we need to ensure our safety. I'll contact the police first thing in the morning. As for us, I trail off, the future murky and uncertain. Lara reaches for my hand, her touch tentative. I know I've messed up, terribly. But I love you, Mike. I truly do. Can we try to get past this, together? The question hangs between us, fraught with the weight of her betrayal and the shadow of a man who was more dangerous than either of us had realized. I look at her, really look, and see the woman I married, flawed but reaching out. The path forward isn't clear, but the immediate crisis binds us in a way I hadn't expected. Let's start with handling Dave. We'll take it one step at a time, I say finally, the decision feeling like the first stable ground I've stood on all night. Lara nods, relief mixed with resolve in her eyes. Thank you, Mike. For even considering giving me another chance. We spend the rest of the night discussing our next steps, a plan forming amidst the wreckage. It's not forgiveness, not yet, but it's a start, a mutual effort to untangle the web of deceit and danger that has enveloped our lives. The next morning dawns with an oppressive silence. Lara and I move through our routines with a tentative truce hanging in the air. My mind races with the revelations of the previous night, and the impending confrontation with Dave. As soon as the clock strikes 8, I pick up the phone and call the police, detailing the situation and Janice's information. They assure me they'll investigate, but the uncertainty gnaws at me. Lara paces the living room, her anxiety palpable. What if he comes back, Mike? What if he tries something? We'll be ready, I say, trying to infuse my voice with confidence I don't entirely feel. An hour later, a detective named Harper arrives, her presence calm and authoritative. We recount the events, showing her the messages and explaining Janice's findings. Dave Stevens, also known as Davey 88, has a history of these sorts of affairs, Harper confirms, looking through her notes. He ingratiates himself into the lives of vulnerable women, often leading to extortion or worse. You've done the right thing by contacting us. The weight of her words sinks in, and Lara grips my hand tightly. "What do we do now?" she asks, her voice trembling. "We'll set up a surveillance operation to catch him in the act," Harper explains. "We need your cooperation, Lara. Can you contact him, arrange another meeting?" Lara's eyes widen, but she nods resolutely. "I'll do whatever it takes." We spend the next few hours planning. Lara sends Dave a message, feigning remorse and inviting him over that evening. The police set up discreetly around the house, waiting for Dave to make his move. As night falls, tension thickens the air. Lara and I sit on the couch, the TV playing in the background to maintain a semblance of normalcy. My heart pounds in my chest, every sound outside magnified. Finally, the doorbell rings. Lara and I exchange a glance, then she stands, moving to answer it. I stay hidden in the hallway, my phone ready to signal the police. Dave steps inside, his charming smile firmly in place. "Lara, I'm so glad you reached out. I was worried." Lara forces a smile, her voice steady. "Come in, Dave. We need to talk." As they move to the living room, I inch closer, listening intently. Dave's voice is smooth, reassuring. "I knew you couldn't stay away." Lara's response is sharp. "I made a mistake, Dave. This has to end." His demeanor shifts, a dangerous glint in his eyes. "Oh, Lara. You don't get to decide that. Not now." I step out, phone in hand. "Yes, she does." Dave whirls around, surprise and anger flaring in his eyes. "Mike. This is a private conversation." "Not anymore," I say, my voice hard. "The police are outside. This ends tonight." Dave's face contorts with rage, but before he can react, the door bursts open, and Detective Harper strides in, flanked by officers. "Dave Stevens, you're under arrest." Dave struggles, but the officers quickly subdue him, cuffing his hands behind his back. He glares at us, venom in his eyes. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is," Harper says firmly, leading him out. The door closes, leaving a profound silence in their wake. Lara collapses onto the couch, tears streaming down her face. I sit beside her, wrapping my arms around her. The nightmare is over, but the scars remain. Weeks pass, and life slowly returns to a new kind of normal. Dave is formally charged, his past crimes brought to light. The media frenzy dies down, leaving us to rebuild our lives. One evening, as we sit on the porch, Lara turns to me, her eyes reflecting the setting sun. "Mike, I know I don't deserve it, but thank you for standing by me." I squeeze her hand, the future still uncertain but the bond between us slowly healing. "We'll get through this, together." As the sun dips below the horizon, a sense of peace settles over us. The storm has passed, leaving us battered but not broken. In the end, love and resilience prove stronger than deceit, guiding us toward a brighter tomorrow.